Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name is Jeremiah Krakowski, and I've been doing this podcast for quite a few years now. I help coaches, mentors, and trainers scale their businesses and make more money by reaching more clients and getting more leads. Today I want to talk about authenticity and just being yourself. And I think that I'm going to start having a bit of a new format here in this podcast, where it's a bit more of what I'm learning right now and what I'm experiencing and going through. One of the things that I had a conversation with my wife this past week, we talked about, was that some of my best content is when I'm not thinking about it or trying to make it perfectly. It's oftentimes when I'm with one of my kids and I'm just sharing what's on my heart. And I realize that oftentimes I get stuck in my head, overthinking the type of content that I want to make, how I want to show up, and I don't actually show up in the way that I need to or that I must, simply because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think. And then that causes me to not actually be myself. I'm not actually showing up in my most powerful self in that way. And so listen, for you, if you're watching this right now, how can that benefit you? Is realize that the perfectly curated version of yourself that you're trying to make sure that everybody likes, that is dialed in so perfectly that everybody's going to resonate with it, that version oftentimes falls flat. And actually the version that resonates with people is when you're not trying, when you're just being yourself. And it starts from coming from a place of confidence. Now, something I've been experiencing that's been really helpful for me, X.com, which is formerly known as Twitter, released Grok 3, Grok 3 right here. And they have a voice mode inside of Grok, which allows you to, they have a mode called Not a Therapist, which is really cool because, again, it's not a licensed therapist, but I'm telling you, I've talked with it and it helps process through certain things. You know, I worked with a therapist for a long time and it helped me, and I find even using an app like this is really helpful to supplement that as well. One of the things is that we oftentimes expect other people to think a certain way about us. I find myself, I end up projecting a version of how I think people are going to respond to my podcast. I end up projecting a version of how I think my wife is going to respond to something, or a past client, or things like that. And I end up projecting that onto everybody that I end up meeting. And then I end up responding, talking, communicating in a way as if I'm trying to communicate with those people. And that's not authentic because I'm in a defensive tone. I'm from a place of defense. I'm from a place of self-protection. And so anytime that we get into conversations that come from a place of self-protection, we lose our essence. We don't show up authentically, no matter how hard we think we are. And it's very interesting. Like, we can I'm so authentic. And yet, if we're coming from a place of defense or self-protection, it doesn't necessarily come across the most authentic. What I want to talk about is, how are you when you're lit up and excited? When you feel safe, the safest. When you're around somebody that makes you feel really confident. You can just flow and share your thoughts and feelings, and you're not afraid of what everybody thinks about you, and you're not worried, and you're not letting that worry and fear step in and control what you're saying and how you're saying it. You know, I find when I do this, I show up in my best, and I show up in a way that resonates with people, that people want to be around, that people want to listen to. My business is only a business when I can show up as my authentic self. And it doesn't come from striving. It doesn't come from trying. It comes from letting go of all that and just being me. And so I want to just ask you, when's the last time that you were just you because it was the right thing to do? Or you knew with confidence that by just being you that it was going to resonate with people? I want you this week to go out there and put content out there that you don't have a guarantee that it's going to work, that you feel that this might work, but you just put yourself out there publicly, imperfectly, not because it's this result that you're going to have happen, but because it's the right thing to do, is imperfect action. When you can make imperfect action be a part of your lifestyle as a business owner, it allows you to step into experiencing everything that's possible for you inside of your business. You know, I think a lot of people, they are waiting until this perfect moment to finally put their business out there, to finally reach the people that they know that they can reach, that they want to reach. And that does not produce the result that you want. The results that you want happen when you can let go of trying so hard, just showing up as yourself, putting yourself out there, and letting the rest take care of itself. Now, if you've been listening to this podcast, I'd love to have you become a member of my Wealthy Coach Academy program. Inside of my Wealthy Coach Academy program, I help mentors, trainers, and coaches like yourself get more clients every single week and break through all the pitfalls that it takes along the way to get there. I'd love to have you join us. Grow your life, everybody. Talk soon. Have a good one.